Alright, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. And as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Website Development Program, and in particular the AWD 1111.NET Framework with Web Databases class, I am going through a series of video presentations I'm creating for the book that will be used for the fall 2019 semester of the class, and that is Pro ASP.NET MVC 5 in a press text by Adam Freeman. We are toward the end of Chapter 7, and I am now talking about improving the URLs. Much better, rather than having to type in this with a question mark, to just be able to do this. So as the author says, the page links are working, but they still use the query string to pass that information. Alright. The author says, I create URLs that are more appealing by creating a scheme that follows a pattern of composable URLs. So again, rather than this. Okay. MVC makes it easy to change the URL scheme as it uses the ASP.NET routing feature. All the author says that he needs to do is to come in and add a new route to the register routes. In the route config that's in app start. It says, you can see I made this change. Alright, so notice how that changes in here. The URL has changed. Alright. So let's just we'll just grab this. And it looks like we have to, it would make sense, we'll put that one before the default. Alright, let me move this over a bit. Okay. Do the same type of thing here that we did down below. So the controller will be product, the action will be list. Okay. Alright, it is important that you add this route before the default. As you will see in Chapter 15, the routing system processes routes in the order they are listed. And I need the new route to take precedence over the existing or the default one. This is the only alteration required to change the URL scheme for product pagination. The MVC framework and the routing function, it says, are tightly integrated, and so the application automatically reflects a change like this in the result method. Alright, so let's see if indeed we've gotten it now to work the way we want it to work. So we'll do a file save all. We will go back to our list.cshtml and view that in the browser. Still loading. Had this happened before, that it just seemed to take forever to bring this up, and I'm not sure why that would be. Maybe it's because I had another version of it running. So let's stop it and try to run it again. In fact, let's stop it and let's go back to here and just run the program. Alright, that's looking good. Now go to the second page, and notice it now says page 2. Third page now says page 3. Go back to the beginning, and it now says page 1. Alright, looks like we pretty much succeeded in what we were trying to do there then. Alright, we are coming into the home stretch of the chapter, and the next part, the author says, is on styling the content. Okay. I have built a great deal of infrastructure, and the application is starting to come together, but the appearance is not good. So the first thing we're going to do is install Bootstrap. And in keeping with what I have been doing, even though the newest version is 4 point something, we're going to install 3 anyway. So come into here, Tools, NuGet Package Manager Console, and let's put that in. 1 or more unresolved dependency constraints detected. Well, that isn't good, but hopefully that'll be fine. Okay, it looks like it resolved itself. All right. So we install that on page 190. And the author says this is the same basic NuGet we used in Chapter 2. Alright, once again I'm going to use Bootstrap without going into details. There are plenty of books out there, but the best resource of all, of course, as always, is getbootstrap.com. Alright, in Chapter 5 the author says that he explained how Razor layouts work and how to apply them when we created the list.cshtml view. We checked the option that says use a layout, but we left the box that specified the layout blank. This has the effect of using the layout specified in ViewStart, so we can double check that. So open up ViewStart, and it says, yeah, we're going to use layout. That looks good. The value of the layout property specifies that views will use view shared, etc. as the layout unless they specifically have an alternative. I reset the content of the underscore layout earlier in the chapter to remove the template content that Visual Studio adds. In listing 726, you can see how I have returned this file to add Bootstrap and CSS. So let's come in here. The key things are here. Alright, that's making everything available. But let's find the underscore layout. Whoopsie. Let's find the underscore layout.cshtml file. Alright. I have added the bootstrap.css and bootstraptheme.css to the layout using link elements. Yep. And now we want to be able to apply things to our list file. So we want to go into the for each. And again, these are aesthetic changes that we're making right here. Alright. In fact, let's just grab everything that's here from the at model over. Alright. Now with things like pull right, etc., that are in here. Again, the stuff that we're doing because we want this to look better aesthetically. All right. And the author mentions down on the bottom of the page, the HTML elements generated by an MVC application come from a wide variety of sources, so the style classes become diffused throughout the project. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, you're not alone. Mixing CSS styles is not a great idea. You can improve on this by assigning non-Bootstrap classes to elements depending or based on their role in the application, then using a library like jQuery or less to map them. I'm going to keep things simple for this application and accept that I have embedded the Bootstrap classes throughout the project. So we want to run this, and ideally after we run it, it's going to look more like this. This is page 3. It's the only page that has just a single record in it. So let's come back here. As always, let's do a file, save all. Let's right mouse click on our list and view it in the browser. And you can see, now, does this look great? Let's put it this way. It looks great in comparison to the way it was looking. All right, this is just some minimal work that has been done here. I'll just put something useful here later. So we could have, whatever here. All right, and again, there's 4 on there. This looks a lot nicer. Should be 4 here. And should be 1 here. There you go. All right, now we are at the end of the chapter. The only thing that's left, and I'm on page 193. Creating a partial view. As a finishing trick for this chapter, I am going to refactor the application to simplify the list.cs HTML view. I'm going to create a partial view, which is a fragment of content. Just a part of a view, hence the name partial view, that you can embed into another view, rather like a template. Partial views are contained within their own files and are reusable across multiple views, which can help reduce duplication if you need to render the same kind of data in several pages throughout an application. All right, so we're going to follow the steps as shown here on the bottom of page 193. To add a partial view, right mouse click on the View Shared folder in the Web UI and select Add View. Add View. All right. So we went into the View Shared, we selected Add View, we want to set the view name to Product Summary, we want to set the template to empty. I'm being very deliberate here. Select product from the model class. And check the Create as Partial View box as shown right there. So I tried doing this before. Let's see how this works. product summary, empty, empty, product sports score dot domain dot entities, empty, empty, create a partial view, okay, which is that one. So that's what we want to do there. Click the Add button in Visual Studio. We'll create a partial view for us in View Shared called productsummary.cshtml. Let's click Add and see if indeed that happens. Views Shared. And in View Shared, well, that product summary should have been in View Shared. Not sure why it's not there. I may have set it up incorrectly. Views shared product summary. Well, I think I can try to force that. So views shared. So view shared, it is now inside of view shared. Okay. All right. Apply the changes shown here. So again, I'm going to just grab everything, copy, prettying that up just a tad. Now I need to update the list.cshtml so that it uses the partial view. This should just about be it for the chapter. So the for each will be changed as shown. Copy partial view in the list.cshtml. Okay. I have taken the markup that was previously in the for each loop in the list CSHTML and moved it to a new partial view. I call the partial view using the html.partial helper method, which is right there. The parameters are the name of the view and the view model object. Switching to a partial view like this is good practice, but it should not change the appearance. How do we know that for sure? Well, let's do a file save all. Let's go back in again. And if the program is running, let's stop it. And you might look at that and know this is something my daughter's interested in, this graphic design boot camp, so that's why it's up there. I'm too old for a career change. So this should look the same as it did before. Okay. But we're making progress. We're getting a nicer looking interface. we're getting a better looking product. In this chapter, the author built most of the core infrastructure for the sports store application. It does not have many features that could be demonstrated to a client at this point, but there's the beginning of a domain model with a product repository backed by both SQL Server and the EF or Entity Framework. There is just a single controller, the product controller, that can produce a paginated list of products, and we have set up dependency injection and defined a clean and friendly URL stream. In the next chapter, we're going to add some custom facing features like navigation by category, a shopping cart, and a checkout process. So that'll be it for we will come back with Chapter 8 momentarily.